very vast subject that we've set ourselves, collaboration. I think we could spend the whole afternoon. And we're also talking about digital transformation. So I just want to deliver 3 messages. They're going to come out. Maybe lift the lid on what does collaboration look like anyway today. BIM level 2. Okay, BIM collaboration. Let's just share with you what that looks like. You probably all know what it looks like, but we like to share. Second, digital collaboration. Oh, there the digital collaboration data formats didn't work. You can see the logos have crunched there. But we're talking digital transformation. We're thinking digital. If you tell me collaboration in a digital world, I think the waste community that's collaborating to make sure that traffic is reported in our infrastructure. That's collaboration, okay? It's not some kind of defined processes. Digital is fundamentally different. In a digital world, there must be opportunities. Let's just lift the lid. What does that look like? Anybody that tells you today they know, I fundamentally disagree. It's like somebody telling you in 1998 they know what the future of the internet is. 1998, there was no Facebook, there was no iPhone, there was no Amazon. That's digital transformation. Don't tell me we know. We need to invent it. And yes, there are some threats, and actually, they're pretty standard, and we can address them. So, BuroHappold, just to give you a picture of collaboration, we're about 2,024 offices worldwide, and we like to work together. So that's what I mean by collaboration, a community that is designing. We have a lot of fun because we get together to design these kind of weird buildings, and what's fantastic is that these kind of assets only come out of the ground because a lot of people are collaborating. An owner that's ordering one of those knows that is not going to follow a defined process. We're going to have to work together. Is it even possible to build a hotel in Macau with an exoskeleton? Who knows? But let's try. Let's collaborate. So we do really like collaboration, and now, well, we have this new world BIM, so let's use it, right? So we've been helpfully armed with all our BSI drawings, and that's what it looks like. Everybody's familiar, so how does that look like in reality when you make one of those? When you make one of those, actually what it looks like is much more like this. It's saying, oh my God, I have to bring lots of data together. I need to bring my data guys and connect. It's a data transmittal process. Okay, yes, there is the collaborative design that's been enshrined in the way we build things out of a document. PAS 1192 is a document-centric process digitized. That's Kodak digitizing their film. And at the end of it, you get a construction model, and yeah, it's cool. When you try to do Battersea Power Station, and you have designers in Los Angeles, you have designers across the world collaborating to get this through. You have Skanska building another railway station underground. The only way to think about it is to think, oh my God, I have a lot of data. And it looks much more spaghetti-like than the BS 1192. Okay? But it's not scary. Just get the guys in and start making it work, and then, you know, you can start having things that hang together. And, okay, we've switched on the internet. I repeat myself, we've just switched on the internet. What we have to say is, why are we talking about digital transformation? Because BIM, all it is a medium. It's how we digitize our world. Now that we're there, let's actually build the new digital world. We need to fundamentally rethink how we use data. Let's be ambitious, let's innovate, let's reshape how the project works. Let's transform what we deliver. In the same way as Amazon transformed retail, because they found the internet, and they didn't say, oh, I can send emails to my customer. They said, no, I can fundamentally transform how retail works. That's what we need to do. What does it look like? Well, let's not forget, right? In 1 minute, that's what collaboration looks like in the digital world that we say we're going to go and meet, that we say we're going to go and work in. What's underpinning that is these key concepts. We all said a social engagement. What's really interesting is that's highly collaborative. Okay? We don't talk through each other's lawyer, we actually send WhatsApps, okay? Now, of course, that challenges, and earlier on we talked about legislation needing to be adjusted. If I write a contract and send it by email, is it valid? Yeah, we need to review all these, but social, mobile, analytics, clouds, that's what's driving digital transformation out there. How does it help us? Well, here's the bad news. We are a fundamentally social industry. We need to exchange data around a social graph that's much more complicated than any other industry. That's why it's hard. It's really hard because to collaborate in our industry socially is harder. We have more touch points. We have many more actors and many more interfaces, from the stakeholders to the designers, to the contractor, to the suppliers. Many people need to be talking to each other. So what does it look like under the hood when you start putting these things? I can't show you everything, but this is the kind of thing you need to be thinking. This is an app that we've developed with one of our small suppliers. Earlier on, we were talking about small supplier coming and transforming our industry. This is a small supplier that's developed an app that systematically mined every single BIM model in BuroHappold so that we can make that information available collaboratively to every single designer across the world. That's the cloud in action for you. That means, oh, I'm specifying a what's it, a pump, a bridge. I can find instantly who else has worked on this because I've mined every single design model, every single project live, and it's on the fly. It works like Google. Then you have to say, okay, cloud collaboration, what does it look like? Well, guess what? Google asked themselves that question, created a company, it's called Flux, it's in San Francisco. They created a completely new cloud platform that connects and allows us to collaborate. We run a cool little thing between San Francisco and London with offices across Europe, and what it resulted was having coders pushing information as we're designing the fitness of the design is being updated and made available to the design team and the client. We can do crazy things like invent stick people that are walking around our model. We don't know where that's going, but suddenly you're capturing information because this guy there actually is a Kinect camera capturing somebody walking through the model. We can do that today. That's the kind of things that digital transformation should be driving to do. And yeah, cloud collaboration and security, just dropping it in here. At the moment, we are very much towards a centralized cloud collaboration. We're going to be moving towards a distributed ledger collaboration, which is really interesting because that is the social graph of our industry. So when people say blockchain, etc., there is a fundamental reason why this is going to solve our problems, because we have a distributed collaborative environment. We need a distributive ledger that is secure. That has a name, it's a fancy name, it's called blockchain. But actually, drop the name, focus on what's the work to be done. The other thing, computer will do the work. Don't think that there is lots of people in the background at Amazon doing the stuff, right? It's all computational. All design are computational. The computational code that is driving our design is now in code repository. We're using platforms to share the data. We're using Amazon Web Compute to give us elastic compute and infinite database. Because of course what you want to be able to do is as you're designing, oh, somebody changed their mind, let's rewind the design because I've saved the design for every single design act in the last 6 months. Every 10 minutes, I can rewind the design and then run it forward again. So yeah, technology will trigger a new collaboration. It will. Why? Because today we have a very inefficient project space. We're very inefficient. We can see some silo optimization is going to give us about 12% of gains, but we are being told the industry is 50% inefficient, so we need to think about how the project space is going to need to come together Today, our project space is built on information transfer on documents. This is the past. It's like saying you are expecting your supplier to send emails to each other. No, the information is just flowing through the system. And then what's really cool is that you can then start getting precedence data and mine that up and then use it to do the information and decision, and that will drive value. That's where the whole value is going to come from. Collaborative behavior, collaborative data exchange triggered by technology, not made by technology. But of course, that's just the techie bit. What really needs to change is how will we make it work? Now that the technologists has come along and say, look at all this cool stuff we can make. Now it needs to be business driver. We're going to need, for example, to adjust the contracts. Little shout out, we just had another conference with another firm. It's all about how contracts, collaborative contracts need to change. Behavior, even more important. There is now a BSI standard for that. And again, if you tag behavior for collaboration, that is what's driving the use of the tool. Okay, what's changing is the social fabric of how we work that needs to change, and then the processes needs to be changed. So we need to work with open innovation. That's how the digital work works. Open innovation, reinventing processes that harness this new technology that's available. So quite a journey. I needed to finish on what about the threats. Hopefully I've given you some thought around how we go from BIM, which really needs to be so embedded we never talk about it anymore, to how does that design and delivery look like in a digital world. Yeah, of course, emails were hacked, websites were hacked. As soon as the information, we designed the Olympic Stadium. We have a full representation of Battersea. Yeah, of course a terrorist would love to know what happens, because interestingly enough, these are linked to our analysis model, so remove something and you can recalculate whether it crumbles, right? So this information needs to be much more secure because it's so much more valuable. So yeah, resilience on 5.9, cybersecurity, so important. We have our own practice now of experts, and if you want to call him, Andrew, and yeah, we discussed with the British Army how to secure their data, because we're moving their data into the digital domain so that we can operate our asset more effectively. So on that note, I just want to wrap up. I don't know if I'm on time, to say we've made the journey together. BIM is part of it, but more importantly, let's go way beyond it. Let's talk digital as we are doing, but then think digital. What's the equivalent of Twitter? What's the equivalent of Waze? What's the equivalent of Facebook? That really redefine how society works and how our community is going to work.